Oh, we are live. Have me staring at a screen, all smiling. Hey, everyone. Today is the beginning of Lent. And whether you observe it formally or not, I believe this season is an invitation to slow down, an invitation to examine what's driving us, an invitation to ask, am I living from peace or from pressure? So, in a world that feels louder than ever, peace no longer happens automatically. It has to be practiced, it has to be protected, and it has to be chosen. And today, we're going to talk about why peace is not personality, it's a skill. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of You Are Meant for More. I'm your host, Francine Ayala. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. So grateful for you. You guys, I can't believe last week I didn't even wish you a happy Valentine's Day. We just passed it on this past weekend, and I didn't even share with you that I don't think I did, that I was celebrating my son's 30th this past weekend. It was President's Day. It was like a holiday for us in the US. There was just so much going on. And with my brain, it can only take so much. I not only does it do it on purpose, my brain, but I actually take time to realize that my brain can only consume so much. And I'm okay with that. And I'm grateful for it because I live with intentionality. I want to be focused and in alignment with what I'm doing in my life and how I'm moving forward in growth and in my faith and all of the things. And so there's all this noise going around, and we've been talking about it, right? And so today I was like, what do I want to talk about? Because I want to be able to bring some, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistency. So, being the ADHD brain that I apparently have, that's okay because it's not anything bad. It just means I structure my thoughts and process things differently. I wanted to be in alignment with where I'm headed in my shows so that everything was pretty much connecting together. So we talked about the Super Bowl last weekend, and then this week we're going to talk about the peace. Now, there's a type of peace that I know I've explained on a previous show. So if you're new, thank you for being here. There's so much I want to be able to share with the world, and you included are part of that. And I want to bring this peace to the people. And I am so just involved with how this is going to come together. And of course, I keep connected with God, not all the time. If you know me, I'm not always obedient. I tend to go this way when he's telling me to go that way. But the thing is, the reason why he continues to utilize me in this process is because I've dove into and learned and educated myself on human behavior in spiritual psychology. So I understand the process of the human experience. And that's what I've been calling it, because God had told me, like, bring everybody back to the heart, because that's where he's at. And I was like, okay, so bear with me. Today's going to be a show about how to find that peace within. And it is literally a skill, because what's happening is we're allowing the noise and the world around us to regulate how we feel and who we are. So get ready, grab your pen, grab your paper, grab your notebook. We're going to start taking notes on how to do this and how to be in alignment with what God is calling you to do and how to be still in that process. And believe me, it's not an easy process. But if you're consistent and you stay with it, it can be. And this is the piece that I want you all to experience. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up my notes, you guys. I'm excited for this. I even created a little presentation for you all. Look at this. Woo! And so like, yay, it looks so pretty. Okay, so the introduction is going to be unpacking the human experience, okay? Unpacking through faith, through emotional awareness, and spiritual alignment, okay? This is going to be great. As we enter Lent, I want us to understand something clearly. Lent is not about religious performance. It's about recalibration. It's about asking, what is loud in me? What is reactive in me? What is driving me that isn't God? And this season is about space. And space is where the regulation grows. So what's happening, you guys, is there's this process that we go through because of what we surround ourselves with. And I don't know how many times, I've mentioned that to you all. I hate when I do that. It shows me off screen in a little tiny bubble. Okay, so it's this process of understanding what we're paying attention to, what we're giving our energy to, what we're, not doing in what he wants in our lives. Believe me, we're going to always run the opposite way. When we stay in alignment, he's going to guide us through it. It's this piece of blocking out anything that is not fulfilling who you are meant to be. Okay. And so Lent is an opportunity to slow down and recalibrate where you're supposed to be. And I'm going to share with you guys at the end, like some steps on how to get there. But I promise you, it just takes consistency and showing up. I know that it's not going to be easy. Today, it was so funny. You know me, I love sharing stories. I was catching up on some of my Bible. I do Bible study in Arkansas online because I'm based in California, but my church is in Arkansas. And it was only because family friends introduced me to their church, and I loved it. I love the pastor. I loved his values. I always connect to the pastor and how they present the word through the Bible and share stories. And so he has my humor, he has my values, everything's in alignment, and I absolutely love it. But it was so funny because I was catching up with some of the stuff. I've missed a couple of services because I was busy on a Sunday, which again, I shouldn't be doing that. I should always have time for God, right? But again, we're not perfect people. And this is why he brings me to share with you all. It's the human experience, and he understands that. So bring it back, right? Bring us back to him. Okay. So he was talking about like, we don't wait. He's like, my pastor shared, I don't wake up every morning and think, let me read my Bible. He goes, I'm not Ned Flanders. And if you're a Gen X, like I am, you know what that reference means. And it just made me laugh out loud because I was like, oh my goodness, it is true. It's 100% true, because the thing is, we're still human regardless, and this is where I'm like, okay, I needed to understand human behavior, why we react to certain things, why our emotions control us. And, how do we cohesively connect the two and live in this space that we're in on earth through our spirit and through our human experience. And, so it's very profound that we understand the two, that our spirit is what leads us back to God and that peace that I'm talking about. And, the human experience is understanding and knowing our emotions and how it can regulate us versus keeping us grounded and at peace. So bear with me. All right, here we go. So I just want to make sure my notes are up. Okay, perfect. Because I did a slideshow for you guys, and now I'm like, okay, next slide. Here we go. Okay, so we are overstimulated emotionally, digitally, politically, relationally. So I wanted to share with you really quick and go back to this because, okay, where's my little guy, or where am I? There I am. Okay, let me just remove this really quick. I needed to share with you all the specifics about what's been going on, because there's a lot of emotions and anger and frustration and all of these things around political parties, okay? And I just want to emphasize that the anger and the emotion is in response to a human, to a human, not an actual thing, but a person. And you got to understand the difference of that, because you're attaching to, or people, I'm not saying you, people are attaching to a human. So it's basing off their emotions, but you got to look at the broader picture of why something is coming up within you, like why the emotion of anger or sadness or frustration, or what is it about that is bothering you and why. So I always like take it back when I talk to people. I'm like, okay, let's talk about the rationality of it. We're mad at a human, or not, we just in general, because like it really helps you understand how it's coming up for you and why, because it goes deep within, and that is all coming into the more of the conversation that we're going to be having over the next several weeks, is how to break that down in yourself, in relationships, in your career, in your business, in how you're showing up in front of people. Okay, I know I can share all of this all day long because I'm so passionate about getting you to a place of peace, love, joy, and fulfillment. So stay with me, okay? All right, let's go back to the notes. Okay, so your nervous system was not designed to process 24/7. My little bubble not there anymore? There we go. Okay. It wasn't meant to process 24/7. So 24/7 news cycles, constant outrage, online comparison, cultural tension. And when your nervous system stays activated long enough, peace feels foreign. Peace feels so out of reach. That's where like the anxiety and overwhelm really show up in your life. Here's a truth you can anchor in. When the body is in survival mode, the spirit struggles to discern clearly. And that's not weakness, that's biology. And you guys can look that up. There's studies shown about it, that the body will always react in a scarcity mode when it struggles, as opposed to discerning to where God is. Because like there's so many times in our lives that we just want to like give up, and I'm so frustrated, I'm this, I'm that, and I can't do it, and why is this happening to me, or why does this happen to me, why does this keep happening to me, why this, why that, when we just get to sit and be at peace knowing that he's in control. But Francine, how can I give him the control? I mean, my bills are due, my this is that, this is happening, and it's just like, believe me, I'm not here to tell you that you're doing it all wrong, because guess what? I've been there. But I know through process of constant repetition in my life of showing up in his presence and giving myself to him and surrendering, that's when the peace came. Okay. So the overstimulation, we are bombarded with that constant emotional stimuli. The nervous system, our systems struggle with the relentless digital noise. Prolonged activation, extended stress makes calm feel unattainable. Okay? You cannot access clarity when your system feels unsafe. And you cannot access peace when your body thinks it's under threat. So when you feel anxious, reactivate, short-tempered, spiritually foggy, reactive, and spiritually foggy, it doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're overwhelmed. So like if you're joining me live, or if you're catching this on replay, let me know. What is it that you're dealing with? Like, how can I support you in that? Because I've been there. I've been through all of these things. I've been through the anxiousness. You guys, I had an anxiety attack at one point. I didn't go to the hospital, but I was like, I didn't know what it was. My heart started racing. And I just remember not being able to breathe. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm out of breath. And I promise you can stop that. And I've done this in a past episode, but where you stop to ground yourself. Okay. Know you're okay. Close your eyes. Take in a deep breath. I'm going to do it again with you. Okay. Deep breath. Hold it as long as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blow it out as long as you can. If you ever go through a panic attack or anxiety attack, anything like that, know that I'm with you, that like I'm guiding you in this process. So I want you to stop and breathe. Okay. Breathe. Do that first. Okay. So stop, breathe. Hold your hand to your heart. This is where God is. This is where you activate that peace. Inhale as long as you can. Hold it. So inhale 5 seconds, hold it 5 seconds, and breathe out as many seconds as you can. Do that 3 to 5 times. Your nervous system will calm down and relax. And when you close your eyes, it supports you. You're telling your body you're safe. You're telling your body it's okay. And I'm not perfect, because guess what? My body will still jump into anxious mode sometimes. And I'm like, wait. But I know how to control it now. I know what it is. I may or may not have too much caffeine. I share this because I know I've been in that space, and I want to make sure you're okay, your family's okay. You can walk over to someone who could be having a panic attack and help them process or anxiety and be like, okay, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. Breathe with me. Touch their heart. If you don't know them, ask them, can I touch your heart? Connect with them. This is where peace begins. This is all here, and you have complete access to it. Okay, you guys, I had to do that with you. So, okay, so the next one is, let me just make sure I covered my notes. Yes, you're overwhelmed. Okay, I want to make sure I bring up my slide again. Here we go. I always got to put my little bubble in there. All right, so the difference between numbing versus peace. You guys, I don't want you to be numbing. This is important. Many people confuse avoidance with peace. Avoiding hard conversations is not peace. Silencing your emotions is not peace. Withdrawing from everything is not peace. Numbing out on scrolling or distractions is not peace. Okay, how many of you here actually do that? It's okay. Don't be embarrassed. I have done that, where show of hands, numbing out on scrolling. So like, you know, I'm just like, oh, overwhelmed. I'm tired. I'm this, I'm that. Let me scroll. Been there. I do it, you guys, all the time. It cracks me up. So let's see where I'm at. Okay. So numbing without scroll or on scrolling is not peace. Okay. So peace is not absence. Peace is stability. Peace allows emotion, but doesn't let emotion run the room. Peace says, I feel this, but I'm not ruled by this. You guys, taking you off this again, bringing me back here. This is a game changer. When you know how to regulate a situation, any situation, you control the room, you control the outcome. You control how the person responds to you. And I'm going to do another show on this, because if you want to be that person that stands in a room and speaks loudly to others, and you're not actually speaking through your mouth, you control the room. You control the environment around you. You show up in so much confidence and poise that people want to be just like you. They want to be in your space. They want to be guided by you. They want to be just in that understanding of knowing what you know. And it just takes a process of continuing to show up and investing in yourself and really going deep into who you are and how you're showing up and why certain emotions that are no longer serving you continue to show up. It's a roadmap. It's a roadmap on your nervous system. Your subconscious will always try to protect you when sometimes it's not the best for you. Okay, so if you go off course during the show, if you go off course during your life, return to this, like the show. I'm on the show. Peace stabilizes emotion. It does not suppress it. Okay, so peace stabilizes emotion. It doesn't suppress it. You know, what I do is I look around whenever it's just so funny, because I talk to people. When I get excited about talking to people, I'll talk over them all the time, because that's, I get excited and, my brain is like, yay. But I'm aware that I do that. And so when I know I'm overly excited, maybe too much caffeine that day, I'll stop and be like, sorry, go ahead. I'll ground myself. Understanding how you respond to certain situations. But when I'm in a room with powerful leaders and change makers and CEOs and C-suite executives, I listen and I process information, and I know how to read people, and I know how to feel their energy, and it's just bizarre. It is the craziest thing that I've experienced, in a sense where, at first I was just like, oh, this is odd. But I feel grateful and honored that I have this type of understanding and experience. I did a lot of coaching. I did a lot of investing into myself in coaching through neuro-linguistic programming, NLP certified. And, I went into spiritual psychology next to really understand the human behavior and emotions. And so when I hear people talk, I can hear their emotion, I can feel their energy, and I know how to guide them. And that's great. I know how to support them, wherever it is they're at. Or if there's something that I personally need from them, I know how to approach them. So even if it's in business or if it's in, a collaboration, a partnership, I know how to communicate to them, because I know how to show up as a person of confidence, as a person of faith, as a person of purpose, as a person of, focused energy and intention. So I know how to control a room, a person, a situation. And if you want to know how to do that, stay connected. I'm going to be sharing more on social media, you guys. I'm going to be giving more tips. And I know I've been a little MIA on my social media just because there's a lot that's been going around in me building this and really communicating with God into what he wants me to do. We have a conference that we are building upon that will be announcing. And I don't know if it's happening this year or if it's going to happen next year, but there's a lot coming that he's preparing me for. So stay patient. And for this show, I'm not going to have the Amplify Your Voice section episode, because this was something I wanted to create for you all today, and know that I'm preparing speakers for future episodes. So bear with me, as this last week was all in preparation mode for my son's 30th. And we surprised him. It was great. We had a great time. It was amazing. Okay, so let's go back to our notes. Okay, here we go. All right, let me put my little bubble here. Okay, how Lent regulates our responses. So Lent traditionally involves fasting. Ooh, you guys. I remember when I did fasting for the first time. It was one of the hardest things I ever did. And I actually thought I only drank water for 3 days. I really did. And when I went back to my notes, I was like, oh, I had a quesadilla, I think, one night. But it was interesting because what I did in fasting in that sense was I spent 3 whole days with God. 3 days in the word, 3 days in like doing worship, 3 days in prayer. So just 3 days total doing all those 3 things. And I turned off my phone, and I was just in I was at a friend's family's house, and I stayed in my room for 3 days. And I was like, oh, I didn't eat. I fasted for 3 days. I did it. And then when I went back to my notes, I wrote down everything, and I was like, oh no, I actually had something to eat. Not a meal, but like I had, like, I think, like I said, a quesadilla or something. And then I want to say like maybe a protein bar. But I was like curious because, man, I've been looking into this 3-day fasting. And if you know, like your body does a full reset. So anyways, more to come on that. So let's dive into it because it really allows you to connect to your spirit as a whole when you start fasting. And so I'm looking into this process. Now, just to share, you guys, I always considered myself more Christian than Catholic. And I know Lent falls under like the Catholic religion, but I'm more spiritual than religious. So I love doing this because guess what? God gave his life. Jesus gave his life for me. So what can I give up for 40 days so that I can be of or in discernment with him? How can I give my life to him, for he gave so much to me and to us? So anyways, so I felt like, okay, this is like the best time to do it because we get to count down and like, show up in this space of, what's the word I'm looking for? In, I want to say discernment, but in this space of like surrender, maybe I want to say, in this space of allowing our growth to take place. Okay. So what if instead of fasting from food, because sometimes people are like, I can't do food. I was that one person that was like, I'll have headaches. I can't do it. Blah, blah, blah. Believe me, I know. You fasted from reactivity. What if you fasted from immediate responses, proving your point, doom scrolling, being right? How many of you are like, I gotta be right? I don't. I'm fine. I remember I used to go through that process. I'm just like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Or I'll take a step back and just be like, let me look into that. What if you practiced pausing before speaking, breathing before responding, asking, what am I feeling? Inviting God into the space between stimulus and response. That space is regulation. And regulation builds peace. Lent becomes less about restriction and more about recalibration. Remember, we talked about this opportunity and this moment and this season for you to recalibrate. Recalibrate your nervous system. Recalibrate what it is that you want to focus on and what God has in store for you and how you're going to show up. And understand that you can show up no matter where you're at in life. Like sometimes people think, oh, I'm bad. I'm not doing good. How is God going to see me this way? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do I need to tell you my stories again, you guys? Like, I am all about running from him. Like, you want to talk about the most disobedient person out there? Like, literally, I think I may top that list. I don't know. But It was me, you know. And it's so funny because in the book of Jonah, he throws him in the belly of a whale. And he's like, all right, you don't want to listen? Bloop. Metaphor, right? Where you go through so much pain in your life. And you're like, you're like drowning and like, oh, why is this? I hit rock bottom, bankruptcy, losing car repossession, like losing everything. Okay. And then you're like, oh, fine, I surrender. Just, you know what? I'm done. Here, you do this life for me. And then he starts doing life for you and you're all excited and you're like, yay, everything's going great. And then you're like, oh, look it, there's more over there. Let me go. And you start doing life on your own and everything's great until it's not. And you're like, oh, fine, God. How many times have you done that? Oh, I can't even count, you guys. He's thrown me there many, many times where I was like, all right, I see what you're doing here. And, you know, and sometimes he'll give me downloads or he'll have somebody share something with me and I just look at them and I laugh and I go like this and I'm like, I see what you're doing. So there's always moments in our life where he's trying to connect to us, but we're the ones that like don't want to receive it. We're just like, oh, that's kind of weird, God. Like, what's happening? You know, I want to do my own thing. And, you know, when you find yourself in this constant peril of like, just not knowing how to maneuver life anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right? And if you've been there, like say, yep, all me, been there, done that, or going through it, hey, there's no judgment. There's never any judgment because I'll be the first to tell you, oh, I did that. Oh, yeah, I did that too. Oh, yeah, been there. So again, I always say this, give yourself grace for how far you've come. Okay. Okay, so this regulation builds peace and it's allowing you to recalibrate. So let's go ahead and bring up our notes again and put my little bobblehead there. Okay, so we went through the fast from reactivity, choose calm over impulsive reactions in life, practice pausing, embrace stillness before responding to triggers. What am I feeling? Identify emotions to foster self-awareness daily. You guys, go back on several episodes of like identifying your emotions. Where are they coming from? And then they're going to be on future episodes as well. Invite God in, create space for divine presence and guidance. You have to set up a routine. If you're like me and your brain is constantly all over the place, you need a routine. You need a routine every single day that follows the same patterns. You guys, I literally, let me just share with you really quick. So when was it? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay. So Saturday was Valentine's Day, right? Was with the boyfriend. We did our thing. We had such a great time. And then Sunday was like planning mode and getting, you know, all my things done for my son's birthday. I was doing that Saturday too on Valentine's Day. And then Sunday, we stayed the night, Sunday night in Temecula. We took him wine tasting and into Monday. So guess what? Monday, my boyfriend was there. Sunday, I was in prep mode. I forgot to take my vitamins. So if my brain is not consistently in structure of my morning routine, everything's in chaos. Meaning like I don't follow the plan. You know what I mean? I don't follow through with what I'm supposed to do. I don't get up in the morning. I don't turn on my worship music. I don't read my Bible. I don't sit with God in prayer. I don't take my vitamins. You know, I may eat breakfast at, who knows, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, you know, that day because I wasn't in a routine to do it in the morning. I'm telling you, it's crazy how this happens, but I know my brain, I know how it functions, and that's what I need. I need structure and consistency. So just sharing, just in case you fall into that loop too. I'm here for you. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Put my little bubble right there. Okay, so the next one is faith and regulation equals maturity. Woo woo. We are maturing, you guys. Okay. Faith without regulation becomes reactive. Remember, regulation without faith becomes self-reliant. Yes, you're relying on your full self. But together, they create grounded leadership. When you're regulated, you can disagree without attacking. I wonder what this falls under. Anybody give me an example of you can disagree without attacking moments in our life right now, in our world? I'm just trying to bring it back on. That's fine. You can hold boundaries without hostility. Yes, you guys, when I talk about having conversations, people don't, okay, I'm just going to have to bring this back on to me. People don't approach you with hostility because guess what? You've created boundaries. You've created a space of peace, of calm within that they can't bring it's like, it's putting up a barrier. It's an invisible barrier that they can't see, but you stay grounded in peace and harmony and understanding that nobody's reaction or emotion is going to affect how you respond. Now, granted, I do need to stay off social media because when I read people's posts sometimes, I'm like, ah, and it's not judgment. It really comes from a space of, I wish you knew the peace within that I have. I wish you knew this feeling that I carry with me. And let me be clear, it is not about not loving people, because I'll be the first to tell you, I loved people all the time. I loved on people all the time. I would go above and beyond for people. And God knows that. I don't need to declare it to anybody. People see my heart. If people truly knew me, or like the people that do truly know me, they see my heart all the time. And the thing is, like, when you see these people going back and forth on social media and online and everything, and it's like, rah, rah, I'm right, you're right. Oh, you don't care for people. You know, disagree with me, therefore you hate people. What? So it's like, there's no heated battles that I go through. There's nothing. When you come from a place of peace and just understanding human behavior and the emotional regulation or deregulation that people have, you understand the presence that you hold in their space and how they hold their presence in yours. If you want to know why people keep approaching you a certain way, with anger, with resentment, with, anything, and you're like, why are they acting that way? Why are they responding that way in my life? Why do they treat me this way? It's all internal. There's something that you feel within yourself that is attracting that energy. What? I know. Psychology. It's crazy. Believe me, when I learned all about this, I was like, what? Now, let me be clear. As the human mind thinks, oh my God, this is all me. It's all my fault. It's this, it's that. No. No. Let's back that train up. It's not about whose fault it is. It's about understanding what your body, what your nervous system, what your subconscious is holding on to protect you without you even being aware of it. So you want to know why you show up angry. You want to show why you respond with frustration and I'm like, I always think anger because that's how a lot of people show up, but in a certain way of, all your emotions of anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, whatever keeps showing up for you in your life, it's because of a pattern that has been stuck on you since you were born. It's an emotion that got instilled within you. And so guess what? Around you, you're going to continue to attract those types of things or emotions or circumstances, situation that are going to continue to keep you stuck and so-called safe. So if you're tired of receiving those types of energies around you, let's do the work. Let's do that inner work. Okay. So when you are regulated, you disagree without attacking. Remember, you can hold boundaries without hostility. You can stay calm in the chaos, and that is strength. So when you have the strength to stay grounded while somebody is just like, rah, 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 you're the one that carries the power. When you respond and act the same way they do, you're giving them your power. That's not okay. You know? This is where you can reset yourself and just say, you know what? This is what I need. I don't want to just inspire you. I want to equip you. So how do you get to reset yourself and in the process help someone else? And I want you to say it out loud. I don't want to just inspire you. I want to equip you. Because peace is practiced. And practice requires awareness. So when you start to learn more about who you are and why you're showing up a certain way or why people are attacking you a certain way, you're learning the awareness of where it's coming from. Okay? So let's go a few practical steps. All right, where's my little bubble? Here we go. Yay, there I am, you guys. Okay, so practical steps. Number 1, notice when your body tightens. You ever gone through that? Your body literally will tell you. It tightens on you and you're like, whoa. 2, take 3 slow breaths before responding. You guys, it's not that hard. Listen. Receive it. Take it in. Slow breaths before you're responding. And even then, I personally like to process the information before I respond. It may take me a minute. Maybe take me 5, maybe take me 10, may take me until the next day. Number 3, ask, what am I protecting right now? You know, again, this is all a self-reflection of like, what am I protecting right now? Ask, is this a reaction aligned with my faith? So are you reacting or are you responding? Because ultimately, a reaction is based off of your triggered emotions, right? And is it aligned with your faith? Number 5, delay responses when activated. So this is when I said, I go, sometimes it takes me a minute, 5, 10 minutes to respond, or sometimes it takes me a whole day. Because I like to sit with it. Because guess what? When you respond right away or react right away, it creates even more chaos in your life. You know? So I just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. I got to think on that. Thanks for letting me know. Granted, I am not perfect. If somebody comes at me a certain way, it rarely happens now in my life, but if and when it does happen, it still triggers me. There's still that like little, anger within me that it holds but I know how to question it. What's coming up for me right now? Why does this frustrate me? Why does this make me angry? So I know how to process that information. So peace grows in the pause, you guys. The more you practice the more you practice the pause, the stronger the peace. And that's where clarity comes through. Okay? So, integration. This is where I want you to integrate this. Where am I living from urgency instead of alignment? Why is everything so fast-paced? when you just need to be realigned or recalibrated? Where have I mistaken pressure for purpose? So your pressure to do something, is that your purpose, or are you just being pressured to do something? And does that need to have boundaries as well? Where do I need to slow down so God can speak? Oh, you guys, where do you need to slow down? I needed to slow down in my mornings. I'd wake up late, I'd be rushing, I'd be like all over the place, and I needed to slow down. And that's when I became part of an accountability group. We do our miracle morning routine, and I'm grateful for that space. It's allowed me to recalibrate and realign with God and where I'm headed. So guess what? Not every day I wake up sunshine and lollipops. I wish I did, but not every day I do. So what I do is sometimes I'm up early where I have time to just take it easy, take a breath, listen to my worship music, read my book, my Bible, do my journal and write out a few notes. But sometimes I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't sleep well. I woke up late and I still get going. But guess what? My Bible's already in the car. My stuff's already in the car. So when I get a break, I pull it out and I go through it and I look at it. And some days I don't do it at all. So again, I'm not perfect. I'm just sharing to be consistent, meaning show up, just like working out. You know how many times I stopped going to the gym? I'm still showing up, you guys. There's no end goal. It's just you being healthy in all the areas of your life. Okay? Lent is not about earning closeness to God. It's about removing what blocks it. Okay? I've done that many, many times. So let's just refocus. And often what blocks it is the noise of the world. Okay? All right, you guys. I want you to go through this. You all know already. If this resonates with you, if you know you've been living in survival mode, you don't have to do this alone. I have their book your complimentary Meant for More session, you guys. It's francinayala.com/meant for more. If it's easier for you, Google my name, Francine Ayala. You'll find my website. You'll find the link. I don't even know if I have the link Meant for More. Now I got to double check, you guys, because we've been doing a lot of transitioning with my website, and we're actually going to be rebuilding. Well, not me, but my team's going to be rebuilding a new website. And I don't think it has my Meant for More link on there. Huh? Ooh, I got to tell the team. I think because it has its own link Meant for More, but I'll put it up there. I'll make sure it's put up there. I have my the free workbooks are up there. Your goal setting is up there. I do have book a call up there. Is that my Meant for More? No, that's my calendar. So you can book a call on my calendar, you guys. Super simple. Okay. You were not meant to live reactive. You were meant to live regulated. You were meant for peace and you were meant for more. Okay. I just want you to know that you are his child, you guys. I can't say this enough, but understand you are a child of God. Okay. I bought that like several years ago and I just found it so profound because I remember loving on people so much. And I asked one of my colleagues that I was in business with, I'm like, I don't know why I love on people so much. Like I do. I went out of my way for people and just wanted to love on them. I always donate. I always do certain things, charity work, you name it. And I'll never forget my colleague was like, she's like, because you're a child of God. And that hit. And I was like, you're right. Truly am. And believe me, for many years, I didn't want to embrace it. Not that I didn't want to. Honestly, I didn't know how. The sins of the world caught up with me. They were ruling my life. They were, running my life, I should say. Well, yeah, ruling it too, I guess. And, I didn't know how to pray. I remembered, well, let's take that back. Since I was a kid, there was always a prayer in my head. And it was, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. And then it was always like followed by God bless my mom, my dad, my brothers, well, now it's my son. But when I was a kid, I was just like my family. And then I always remember, please God, don't let me have any nightmares. Because when I was 11 years old, I gave up watching all scary movies, any scary movies, because I had a dream that I was screaming and nothing came out. And I just could not wake up or shake myself from that. So I was like, I don't need to watch scary movies. I'm good. So from a very young age, at 11, my spirit was jolted. It didn't want to watch any scary movies. So like when people ask me like, oh, what kind of movies do you watch? I watch romantic comedies. That is who I am. Granted, I do love Star Wars. I love the Avengers and things like that. But for the most part, it's always a rom-com. Always. And something that makes me laugh, something that makes me happy, something that brings love and joy to my heart. There's sad movies out there too that break my heart. Like, I'm like, so sad. And every now and then I'll see a movie, just a random movie that was on TV and I got interested in it. Like, for example, I watched the last episode of Stranger Things, the very last one. And that is not a show I would watch, but it was New Year's Eve and I was home and my mom and her husband were watching it. And so I was like, all right, I'm here, I'm just fine. It was like a 2-hour show, I want to say, at the time. We had time before midnight. We had just come back from dinner. And so you just never know. Those are the things that happen in life, right? So I always tell people, understand who you're surrounding yourself with, what you're listening to, what you're watching. Now, granted, I know, we love those things that are out there that, make us happy and bring us joy, but how is it affecting your spirit? Just always be aware of that. Now, like, again, you're going to like things that are maybe scary, like things that are, I don't know, not in alignment with God, so it's like, I don't want to say God like that, but like, with your faith, I should say, there's so many things you want to do as a human, and be in and not be out of place with God. So it's just your heart and where your focus should be right here with God, with Jesus. And the thing is, like, sometimes like you go out and listen to music that's not, appropriate in, the eyes of our faith and things like that. But who are you grounded in every single day? We in the Bible, it talks about having false idols, so it's like, stay grounded in Him being the number one controller of your life. Nothing else, not the outside world, not anything that you see or watch or surround yourself with. Because again, we all need to be in community with people and things like that. But it's like, find your people. I met this woman the other day. And like I mentioned before, I do church online, but I need to be in community too. I miss a church, an actual church. And I just haven't found one yet. And I've prayed about it. I've gone to a couple and they just haven't connected the way I love to connect with the one in Arkansas. And I met this woman the other day at Porto's and we just literally started talking, chit-chatting it up. And we were both so excited. Our brains were the same. You know how it goes. And she is a woman of faith. She invited me to her church. I was like, yes, it's not too far from me. And I'm just like, yes, I'll be there next Sunday, because this past Sunday we were celebrating my son's birthday. And I was just so excited. And I'm really excited about joining a community of people of faith, people who are my people, and because we want to be able to share God's love and spread the good news to people all over the world. Okay. And that's what this show is meant to be so that I can connect to wherever it is you're watching from, wherever it is, you're, or whatever, wherever it is like you're at in your life. I know the chaos that's going on. Just don't let it bury you. Don't let it deter you from God's love that's right here. Don't let it determine the chaos of the world, determine who you're not meant to be, because God comes with who you're meant to be, and He has a purpose for you, but you have to be open and willing to receive it. And just know you're loved. All right, you guys, that is the show. I want to pray you out because this is just such a great opportunity to, there you are. Thank you, Will. I appreciate you. So, okay. I just want to close you guys off in prayer because that came straight to my heart that, again, this is something that Lent is providing. It's this opportunity to connect and know that, as we begin this season, quiet what is loud within us, where we are active, reactive, bring awareness, where we are anxious, bring steadiness, where we are overwhelmed, bring clarity. And then, of course, teach us to pause before speaking, to breathe before responding, to listen before reacting. Okay. Help us to fast from fear. I want you to ask God, help us to fast from fear, to surrender urgency, and to cultivate true peace. Help us to regulate our hearts, steady our minds, align our spirits with yours, and let this season of recalibration, not pressure, draw us deeper into your calm. Okay, so here we go. I wanted to share those words because this is a prayer that I asked for, and I want to share my own. Okay, but I wanted to leave you with those words. All right, you guys. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this opportunity to share with these amazing people from all over the world. We pray for them, that you are protecting them with your armor, Lord. We pray that they come to you with so much surrender and discernment. And we know that the outside world cannot control who we are within you. I pray and we pray for all the people to bring them back to the heart, Jesus, where you are located. We ask that you discern us in responding versus reacting. There you go. And we pray that you are with us during these 40 days of Lent, and that we are being in honor of you to give something to us as you've given so much to us in this process. For 40 days, we're going to give something up that matters truly to our hearts, to honor you and everything you have done and will continue doing, all the blessings you are bringing into our life. So we lift you all up in prayer, Jesus, and thank you for listening to us and being with us and guiding us. It's in your precious name we pray, Jesus. Amen. All right, you guys, remember, doesn't matter where you start, just start. Doesn't matter what's happened in your past. It doesn't matter. Just know that he's there to be with you. He's there to guide you. You just have to show up and be consistent. Okay. Not perfect, which is why he continues to utilize me, and I'm grateful and honored. So let me see, you guys, I want to share with you what I have for next week. It's going to be exciting, you guys. Like I said, everything's going to be coming up in alignment with where we're heading in this course of conversation. And as I mentioned, lining up speakers. So a lot has happened over the last couple weeks, but I am realigning myself for this year and the first quarter. So week 2, or I should say week 2, meaning like obviously the next couple weeks, but next week I am bringing in, not every trigger is an attack. Okay. So we're going to focus on what triggers actually mean, emotional activation versus spiritual warfare, how to pause before reacting. See how this is all coming together? And then know that this is going to resonate with you deeply. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Again, know how to connect with me. I'm all over social media, you guys. I'm going to pull this up one last time. go ahead and, of course, questions and reflection. And then, of course, how you can connect with me. Oh my God, I forgot to change my email address. No, I thought I did. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I pulled it up on Canva. You guys know how to get a hold of me at francinayala.com, and you'll go from there. And you can connect with me on all my social medias there from my website. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all next week. Take care and know that you were meant for more. Love you guys. Bye.